What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and as you can tell from the title, I'll be doing a Manchester City keep, sell or loan. This is the club I support, so I know the ins and outs of this club. I know the players, so I'm gonna let you know which players I want us to keep, which players could go out on loan, or which players I want us to just sell, because I'm really fed up with some of these players. So without further ado guys, let us get into this video. So we're going to start from the goalkeepers, then to the midfielders, then to the attackers, and I'm going to throw in some players who are currently out on loan and some of the academy players who has featured in some of the cup matches this season. So the first player we're going to start with is Edison Moraes, our number one goalkeeper. Even though I am not 100% satisfied with what Edison did this season, Edison is surely a keep. He just fits Guardiola's style of play, the way he handles the ball, the way he just plays it out from the back. And Edison is a sure keep, but I think he has a lot of things to learn still. Still a very young keeper. And in terms of Brazil, he's behind Alisson in the pecking order. So Edison is surely a keep, but I want to see bigger and better things from Edison when and if the season resumes or next season. The next goalkeeper, Claudio Bravo. He was brought in from Barcelona by Pep Guardiola to just fit his system. Started okay, but then his form just petered off a bit, and then Pep realized, like, listen man, Bravo isn't the man for me. He's not the man for the job. His first season in charge, Pep did not win the title. When he brought in Edison, title. Next season, title. And we're currently in the curtailed season because of the COVID-19, and Bravo has not impressed me in his few appearances. Barring some good cup matches, but otherwise he has just been rash. I could remember the Atalanta game when he got sent off. Like, what are you thinking? Like, you came on for Edison and then you got sent off. Like, that was just like that was crazy. That was just insane. And even though Claudio Bravo has been very, very solid in the cup matches like the Carabao Cup final and the Community Shield, I'm going to sell Claudio Bravo. He wants first team football. He's at the back end of his career, and I don't think it's fair for a quality, let's say he's a quality keeper. He's Chile's number one keeper, and I don't think it's fair for him to be number 2 at City warming the bench. So I'm going to sell Claudio Bravo simply because when he's called upon, he's just not ready. So with more regular football, I think he would put out more consistent performances. So the next keeper is our third choice keeper, Scott Carson, currently on loan from Derby County and is yet to feature for Manchester City. Fun fact for you guys who don't know, but Scott Carson was on the bench for Liverpool in the Miracle of Istanbul. He did feature for Liverpool that season in the Champions League, and he does have a Champions League medal. So Scott is definitely a keep. I would keep Scott Carson at the club and use him as our third choice keeper for, you know, training and stuff like that, because but you know what, as much as I would want to keep Scott Carson, I think he'll go back to Derby when his loan move is up. So let me reiterate, Scott Carson is a keep for me because it makes sense. Because who wants to be a third choice keeper in the squad? But the fact that his loan will expire, we will lose Scott Carson at the end of this season. Next up, Aymeric Laporte, man. Let's get into the defenders. Aymeric Laporte, world-class defender. World-class. If there's any world-class defenders in the Premier League, Aymeric Laporte, one of the first names on the list alongside the likes of Virgil van Dijk. And I can't really think of many other, but Aymeric Laporte is definitely one of them. A fun fact about Aymeric Laporte that a lot of you guys might not be aware of is that he is still uncapped by France. The last time he was called up to the squad and he would have debuted, he picked up an injury and was out for a lengthy period. This season has not been the best for Laporte because of injury, but he is definitely a keep. I wish we had another defender like Laporte, so he is a keep. Definitely a keeper. Next up, we have John Stones, man. This one is a very, very tricky one because my patience is running thin with Stones. A lot of people have Stones up there. They're still rating Stones in terms of his England career and all. But for City, especially this season, he has been really, really bad. Well, we could use the word atrocious for John Stones. He has just been terrible. You know, I remember that match against Aston Villa when he fell over. He basically he didn't slip. He just fell over. It was like Bambi on ice. Well, Bambi slipped on ice, but John Stones, I don't know, he just got tangled up. He just got tangled up in his own feet, and he's just been frustrating. He's had some really, really good games for City, like when he cleared the ball off the line against Liverpool last season, but still, man, you should have matured to the level that we are just raving on about you, John Stones. So for me, to be honest, John Stones is a sell. He is a sell. He has now become a liability to the club, and he is not up to the lofty standards that Pep Guardiola have set for this team, and I'm going to have to sell John Stones. I'm sorry, Stones, but you're a sell. You've been linked to teams like Arsenal. You could even maybe go back to Everton. Maybe West Ham or one of these teams will take you, but you're a sell. Or maybe you could try something over in Italy like Chris Smalling and these guys have been doing. John Stones, for me, a sell. Next up, we have one of his centre-back partners, Nicolas Otamendi. He has been a very loyal and hard-working servant for the club since he joined about 5 seasons ago. But Nicolas Otamendi, he's up there in age. I think he's about 32 years old right now. And he's just not cutting it anymore for me. He's not. He still have some very, very good games, but overall, his performances are just subpar. He's not fast. I don't know. He just loses concentration at times, and just like Stones, he's a liability to the club. He's been linked with a move back to his old club, Valencia, and I hope they put in a bid for him and we accept the bid, because I want to sell Nicolas Otamendi. So he is a sure sell. If we are going to get back up there to our title winning ways, if you want to win the Champions League, it's not going to happen with guys like John Stones and Otamendi at the back. It's basically a big gaping hole waiting to be breached. Next up, Eric Garcia, the young Spanish defender. This one is a tricky one. He is an academy graduate, so you would want to keep him. But is he going to get the game time necessary for his growth and development? I don't know. But I'd rather have him in the squad than to have John Stones and Otamendi. Seriously, because the few times I've seen Eric Garcia this season, man, he was solid. He was solid for a youngster, for a teenager. He was very, very solid. So for me personally, I will keep Garcia around for him to get some experience, work with Pep Guardiola some more, work with the likes of Aymeric Laporte or whoever we bring in, and just have his game develop some more. If you're gonna become a top defender, you're not gonna run out there on loan and try something somewhere. You could do it right here. You could develop right here at City, and you could be a world-class defender. I think Eric Garcia got what it takes to become a world-class defender. So for me, he is a keep. Left back, Benjamin Mendy. When he came in from Monaco, everyone had high expectations of Benjamin Mendy. He started very, very well. Started well, running up and down the left flank, whipping him in really, really well. But injuries, man. Ill discipline and injuries, I think he's too hyper. He's like too much into the whole social media thing, in my opinion. I know you want to be involved, and this is 2020 and everything, but you have to tone it down a bit. Just tone it. Just tone it down. Please. It's affecting your performances on the field. So, with Mendy, he started the season okay. Injury here and there. But then he came back solid. Seriously. Because I remember the first half of the season, I was like, Benjamin Mendy needs to go. We had the wrong Mendy. We needed Ferland Mendy and we got Benjamin Mendy, and he was just being ran past so easily. He couldn't dribble, he couldn't cross him in, but he came back strong. He came back really, really strong, and we got a glimpse of the Mendy that came over from Monaco. He even dyed his hair blonde again. I was like, whoa, we getting Mendy back. So for me, personally, if you asked me this early on in the season, I would have been like, listen, man, send him out on loan to Lyon or one of these clubs for him to get some experience and for him to just strengthen his body. But for me right now, Benjamin Mendy is a keep. He is a keep. If we do go in for another left back, they could share the burden. They could share the workload. I don't think we're going to bring in someone to just budge him out, to just dislodge him. I think if we're bringing anyone is to just basically to just encourage competition within the team, healthy competition. So Mendy needs that. He needs that, and I think he's a keeper. This one is an interesting one, and it's Alexander Zinchenko. He's been a loyal servant to the club. The last 2 seasons, he's been heavily involved, and it's harsh what I'm gonna say right now. And a lot of games that Zinchenko has featured in, we have won. If you go and you check back the stats and you do a deep dive on the stats. But for some reason, I always feel like Zinchenko isn't cutting it. I feel like other players have to pick up his slack. Like the left-sided center-back in Laporte has to pick up a lot of his slack. He gets run past way too easily at left-back. He's not strong enough. He's not fast enough. He does not provide enough assists, and to me, he's just a squad player. He's just a squad player. I don't know if he would be happy with a role like that at City, but going forward, I can't see Zinchenko starting many games, to be honest. I really can't see it. As I said, I don't know if he's going to be happy with a squad role, but honestly, right now, Zinchenko is a sell for me. He is a sell for me. He just doesn't cut it. Plus, he's from Ukraine, and he reminds me of this Ukrainian co-worker that I don't like. And that's for valid reasons too. He's a snake. Not Zinchenko, but my Ukrainian co-worker. So for me, Zinchenko is a sell. He is a sell. I think we could do a lot better. And maybe I'm being a little harsh. He is a midfielder by trade. Does play at left back for City. But he wouldn't cut it in our midfield. And we shouldn't be playing him as a makeshift left back. So Zinchenko is a sell. Kyle Walker came in from Tottenham Hotspur and has been very, very good for us. Doesn't provide enough assists in my opinion. For example, like the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold. But he is a hard worker. He is a hard worker. He is fast and he is very, very solid. Has a few lapses here and there. But overall, Kyle Walker is very, very solid. Doesn't chip in with a lot of goals either. But he's just that man you need him to provide cover. When the center backs are lacking or when they're out of position, Kyle Walker always helps out and he mops up very well. So for me, Kyle Walker is definitely a keep. But time is running out. He is getting up there in age. Almost 30. Plus, he's just been involved in a little, sex party thing during the whole quarantine thing. So Kyle Walker, you gotta chill out, bro. You gotta chill out. Gotta be disciplined. There's a lot of youngsters looking up to you and you can't be showing them that bad example. So for me, Kyle Walker is a keep. The next one is a tricky one. Joao Cancelo just came in this season from Juventus. Former Valencia player, Portuguese. I've always admired Joao Cancelo. But he's had a strange season. Strange season. And I don't understand. I don't understand what went on with Joao Cancelo this season. I don't know if he's still integrating. I don't know if he's still getting used to English conditions. But we haven't seen enough of Joao Cancelo. And when we've seen Joao Cancelo, we just never saw the Joao Cancelo we saw at Juventus. Running up and down the right flank. He could even play at left back. So he even plays a right winger, but we haven't seen the best of him. And he's been linked with a move back to Juventus or even to another club. He's been linked with a move outside the club. Let me just put it that way. But to be honest, I think it's a bit premature to get rid of João Cancelo. With Mendy there, he could play as a cover for left back. Kyle Walker's give him some competition. It's healthy for the club. And I think João Cancelo is a keep. He's been linked with a move out, but I think he is a keep. No loan move or anything. Keep him. That's why you brought him in. You paid a lot of money for him. Keep him. So we're now going to move into the midfield. The core, the midfield. A man who has came in this season, one of the most expensive signings under Pep Guardiola, Rodrigo. This one is a bit tricky. This one is, and a lot of you guys might not agree, but I think Rodri has been very, very solid this season. Very, very solid. He was solid at Atletico Madrid, and he has transitioned nicely to the English sport. Seriously, that's how I feel. People might say that Rodri has been subpar, but to me, he has been solid, and he is definitely a keep. He has just been signed. He's a keep. We're not just gonna sell him like that. It happens. Players bought this season and sold the next season or sent out on loan or something. But Rodri is a keeper for me. I admire him as a player. He's still very young. And I think he is the right man as our DM to be Fernandinho's permanent replacement. Now we're going to move on to Fernandinho, the aforementioned Fernandinho, who is having a very, very, very weird season where he has played as our center back. DM to center back, and I think he has done a very, very, very good job. But on the flip side, I think this is the reason why we are 25 points behind Liverpool, because we have Fernandinho playing as a center back, and when Laporte was injured for most of the season. So with Fernandinho and John Stones and Otamendi, it has just been chaos at the back. It has just been comedy at the back. But Fernandinho is a keep still. He still is a keep. Mahrez did mistakenly reveal that Fernandinho will be leaving the club at the end of this season, but he has renewed his contract for one more year. So we are going to have Fernandinho back in the 2020-21 season. So he is definitely a keep. So next up we have İlkay Gündoğan, another versatile midfielder. He could play further forward or he could play as a DM. He's basically a box-to-box midfielder. İlkay Gündoğan has been so-so in my opinion. Sometimes he's very, very, very good, brilliant, and there's other times he's just like meh. He just like falls asleep. Was he even playing the game? Still a very, very, very quality player in my opinion, and there's been questions over whether he is committed to the club because he's been saying that he wants more game time and all of that. And Pep Guardiola has been giving him a lot of game time. But does İlkay Gündoğan deserves all this game time? I don't know. I really, really don't know. I really don't know. But he's a quality player and he's up there almost 30. Should we sell him? Should we keep him? Should we loan him? I think Gündoğan he's a keep. He's a keep. He's a good guy to have around. Very, very good guy to have around. As much as I would love to sell him, where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? The best place for him to be is at City. He was at Dortmund. He's now at City. The only place I could see him going is maybe back to Germany, maybe back to Dortmund, but I don't see him maybe one of those Italian clubs, Roma or maybe even Inter. But I don't see him going to a Barcelona or Real Madrid or one of these clubs. So İlkay Gündoğan, I think, is a keep because it will be very hard to find another quality and versatile midfielder like İlkay Gündoğan in today's market for cheap. Next up, Phil Foden, man. One of the youngest guys in the squad and one of the most talented. Pep Guardiola said he's one of the best players he's ever seen in his career. And we know Pep Guardiola has managed the likes of Lionel Messi, Samuel Eto'o, guys like Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and you name it. All the Robin, Ribery, and Pep said some good things about Phil Foden. And I bet a lot of us were convinced in this season's Carabao Cup final where he won the man of the match, and he was brilliant. He bamboozled these Aston Villa defenders. He was just magnificent, and I was like, whoa. If I wasn't convinced before, I was convinced then that Phil Foden deserves to start more games. He deserves to have a more crucial role in this team. So he is definitely a keep. Don't send him out on loan where he's gonna start at maybe a championship club, or maybe a lower table club or mid-table club. But he's a keeper. Don't make the mistake and send him out, or don't make the mistake and lose him. Keep Phil Foden at the club where he may one day go on to be a club legend. So for me, Phil Foden is definitely a keep. Next up, we have Kevin De Bruyne, who has basically entered into legendary status. So there's not much we should actually discuss about Kevin De Bruyne. He has just been magnificent. 16 assists and about 8 goals in the Premier League season, the curtailed season, 10 matches or so to go. Like, come on. I can't find the words to describe how good Kevin De Bruyne has been. And this is a season where he has also picked up a few injuries. So imagine if he had played every single game, what would have happened? And also, that's one of the reasons why we are 57 points, 25 points behind Liverpool. We were without our starlet for a lot of games, our talisman. So Kevin De Bruyne, definitely a keep. It's a tricky one because if we're not going to win the Champions League, something that I'm pretty sure Kevin De Bruyne wants to win, he may move on to the likes of a Real Madrid or even a Juventus or Barcelona, a Bayern Munich, one of these clubs or one of these days. Who knows? Maybe even a Liverpool. As a youngster, he said that's his club, Liverpool. So we got to be careful with KDB. For me, he is a sure keeper. So next up, we have David Silva. If I could have kept him, I would have, but this is his last season at the club. He has made that public a very, very long time ago. Has been somewhat of a subpar season for him, but it's all right. It's excusable. He's been brilliant in the last decade. So I can't be too harsh on David Silva. I would love for the season to just resume so we could just see him finish off his Premier League career strongly. So for me, David Silva is a keep all day. I wish we could keep him for another season. He could just play a mentorship role in the squad, but he would now walk into the sunset with his head held high. A legend, a Man City legend, a Premier League legend. All the best, David Silva. Raheem Sterling, oh man, great season so far. Started well, petered off a bit. Raheem Sterling is definitely a keep. The back end of the season, I don't know what was going on in his head, but he wasn't himself. Definitely wasn't. It was evident in his lack of goals. But Raheem Sterling is a keeper all day. I don't know if he was distracted by all the Real Madrid rumors, and lately he said that he's open to a move back to Liverpool. I doubt they want him back, but Raheem Sterling is a keep. And hopefully he does not go to Real Madrid in the near future. Maybe in 3 years or so or whatever, but you're staying your ass where you're at right now, Raheem. Leroy Sané, this one is a good one because Leroy Sané has been linked with a move to Bayern Munich since the beginning of the season. Last summer, it didn't materialize and he got injured on the very first day of the season. Well, the very first match, the Community Shield match, and he hasn't been back since. He's played with the under-23s, but he hasn't made a first team appearance since. I absolutely love Leroy Sané. He's always been one of my favorite Manchester City players. I've watched him at Schalke, and it was very, very nice when he got a move to City, and he has grown into such a devastating player. A lot of people, a lot of fans fear Leroy Sané. I know a lot of Liverpool fans will be like, listen man, that's one guy I fear, Leroy Sané. Will he move to Bayern? I don't know. I don't know. With this whole COVID-19 thing kind of messing up the whole thing with clubs and their financial dealings. I don't know. I think Sane should commit to City. He's still very young. There's always a couple years from now you could move on to Bayern Munich if you want to, or you're good enough to move on to whatever club you want to. For me, Leroy Sane is a keep, but I won't be surprised if he gets sold to Bayern Munich if they come up with the right money. Bernardo Silva, oh my God, this man has been so good. I'm gonna say this right off the bat, he is a keep. Left winger, right winger, midfielder. You could play him center forward. Bernardo Silva is the man for the job. Works very, very hard, committed, and any team would want a player like Bernardo Silva in their team. Like, he's just magnificent. What he's done for Portugal over the last year and a half or so is just out of this world. So for me, he's a keep, and we are very, very blessed to have a player of this caliber within our squad. Next up, Riyad Mahrez, man. Lately, he's been linked with a move to PSG. Oh my God, and he's like, who knows? Who knows? He's 29 years old, and he might be keen to actually move on from the Premier League. He's won a couple Premier League titles already. He's won enough trophies over here and maybe up for a new adventure. He has been magnificent this season, one of City's best player. In 2019, won the African Cup of Nations with Algeria. For me, he is definitely a keep, but I won't be surprised if he moved on in the summer of 2021. Maybe not this summer, but 2021. But as for now, Riyad Mahrez, one of my favorite players at City right now. Loved him when he was at Leicester, and he is surely a keep. Gabriel Jesus, this one is another tricky one. But for some of you guys who don't know, his game to goal ratio is very, very good. Around maybe 130 to 145 games or so, 60 something goals. That's an amazing conversion rate for someone who does not start a lot of matches. But with Sergio Aguero entering into the twilight of his career, Gabriel Jesus could use this as the perfect platform to step up and deliver, and to prove to us all that he could be City's #1 man. Gabriel Jesus is a keep for me. The way he played against Real Madrid in that 2-1 away victory, concrete, it just galvanized my whole feelings about Gabriel Jesus and his future at this club. He is a keep. Last big squad player, Sergio Aguero. This one is very, very tricky. Club legend, most goals for the club, Premier League legend, title after title after title after title for Manchester City, and he is entering the twilight of his career as well. Sergio Aguero is a keep for me all day, every day, but I don't know how longer he wants to stay at the club. I don't know if he wants to finish his European career at City. That's the thing. I don't know. Himself and Guardiola has had a mixed relationship. Like, sometimes they're good, other times it seems like they're not so good. But overall, I think Sergio Aguero, let me not go into any big explanation about Sergio Aguero. He's just so dependable, and at 31, I think he could offer us 2 more solid years before he move on, and he is a keep all day for me. Keep. Legend. Before I move into our loan players, I just want to mention these 2 academy players. Jadon Braff. I just hope we don't make the mistake that we made with Jadon Sancho and lose this guy. We need to send him out on loan for him to get some experience at a championship club, or even maybe a lower league club, and for him to develop and transition into the first team. He is damn good. Go check him out, Jadon Braff. And the young defender, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, we have seen him this season in the cup games. He is a quality defender as well. We don't want to lose him. Send him out on loan, let him get some experience so he can join the first team as well. So for these 2 players, I'm going to send them out on loan. I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose them. So they're a keep, but I'm going to send them out on loan. Players out on loan, guys. I just want to run through a few players out on loan and let you know what I want City to do with these guys. Angelino, our left back, who was sent to RB Leipzig on loan for the remainder of the season, has been phenomenal. under Julian Nagelsmann. He has been so good, I don't think he'll want to come back to Manchester City to warm the bench. So I want to keep him, to be honest, because of how he's developed at PSV and now at RB Leipzig. But it's obvious that the man doesn't play so well under Pep Guardiola. I don't know if it's the fact that they're both from Spain and there's some pressure there. I don't know what it is, but he just does not look the same player under Pep Guardiola. So I'm going to suggest we let him go. We sell him. We sell him. Just sell him. Or extend the loan and later bring him back or something. But right now, in the best interest of the player, it would be to sell the player for his development at RB Leipzig. He's doing a great job over there, playing as a left wing back, left back, even a left winger. Seriously. So I'm going to go with a sell for Angelino. Didn't work out. Next up, we have the young Spaniard right back, Pedro Porro. He is currently on loan at Real Valladolid. So I'm going to say leave him out on loan right about now. We don't have space for him to, be in this. It's best for him to stay out on loan and develop. Another right back that we just purchased, Brazilian right back Yan Couto. I think we should actually keep him in the squad. If we can, if we could get him a work permit and keep him in the squad, yes. But if we can't, he will just have to go out on loan. It's gonna be hard for a player like him to get a work permit, seriously, if he's not gonna be heavily involved in the first team. I read something today saying that Yan Couto is gonna be in City's plans, but I doubt. I can't see that happening right now. Seriously. American goalkeeper currently on loan at Fortuna Düsseldorf, Zach Steffen. Zach Steffen. I've heard rumors that Zach Steffen is going to be our number 2 goalkeeper next season. A backup goalkeeper to Ederson. And from what I've seen from Zach Steffen, he's pretty decent. And I bet he's got better on his loan stint at Düsseldorf. So for me, Zach Steffen is definitely a keep. Bring him back. Let him play the backup role. Let him keep in the cups. And then we're going to see how he develops from there. So Zach Steffen, keep. The left winger Jack Harrison, acquired from NYFC a couple seasons ago. Currently on loan at Leeds, and Leeds, they're doing very, very well in the championship this season and last season. So, in my opinion, if he's doing well at Leeds, sell him to Leeds. Don't bring him at City, have him warm in the bench and stunt his development. Let him stay at Leeds where he's already familiar with the coach and everything and the system, and help his career. For the betterment of his career, I'll sell him. Ante Palaversa, the young Croatian midfielder, I'll leave him out on loan. Philip Sandler, the Dutch centre-back, he could stay out on loan as well. He's currently out on loan and he could stay out on loan, maybe go to another club on a different loan stint. The same goes for 22-year-old Spanish midfielder Alex Garcia. I don't think these guys are ready for City first team, or maybe at 22 years old, the best thing to do would be to sell him. So I'm going to say sell for Garcia. Right winger Patrick Roberts, currently on loan at Middlesbrough. I'm going to say a sell for him. I can't see him playing for City in the future. Ariane Muric, who we saw last season, called back from loan because of the injury to Claudio Bravo. And he is a very, very good goalkeeper from what I've seen. Currently out on loan. I would say keep Muric out on loan some more or sell him, but I have to make one decision, loan or sell. I'm going to say loan him. But we would need a third choice keeper. Maybe we need to bring in another Scott Carson type keeper for the third choice. So it would be Ederson, Zach Steffen, and a keeper that we haven't heard of in a while. And keep Muric out on loan for his development. I don't think he's ready to be sold. Who knows? He may be Man City's number 1 keeper a few years from now. We don't know that. Luka Ilic. I don't know much about this player, but he should stay out on loan. The next player is Daniel Arzani, who was brilliant for Australia at the 2018 World Cup. And I was excited when City bought him. But he's just one of those players who Man City has in the system to just send out on loan. And they're going to just sell on later to make money. I don't know how he's been. I think he was injured for a while. but I think we should just keep him out there on loan. Next up is Japanese center back Ko Itakura. Don't know much about this player, so I'm gonna say keep him. He's currently out on loan at Groningen, so I'm gonna say keep him out on loan or sell him, but I have to make one decision. Keep him out on loan. Who knows? Maybe he'll develop into a world beater in the future and we could use him in the first team. He might just be better than an Otamendi or a Stones. You never know. And the last player is Ryotaro Meshino, another Japanese player currently on loan at Hearts in the SPFL. I'm going to say keep him out on loan still. So guys, that wraps up Manchester City keep, sell, or loan. I know the video is very, very long, but you guys have a lot of time on your hands right now in quarantine. So thank you very much for everyone who has gotten to the end of the video. Let me know which Manchester City players you'll keep, sell, or loan. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button for the video. Get into the habit of liking the videos, please. Thank you very much. If you never visited cardsplug.com, please check out the site. Use the coupon code Dominic Rich FC to get yourself 20% off. All the links would be in the description box down below. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.
Have it.